He says, can you tell me how Kaguya was able to put humans in infinite Tsukuyomi before Hagoromo passed Chakra around? So this is going to be a big staple in all of our discussions. And I hate this point. It's so annoying to debate, but you guys are going to see an even more annoying point that gets brought up later. He says, why when it's Naruto? It doesn't count, but if it was Bleach, it would count. That seriously don't make sense to me. Well, first off, mind you, I'm addressing, guys, this is from December 2024, right? I'm just addressing this in real time, but I'll answer it now. The reason why it's Bleach, or the reason why this would count in Bleach, is because Bleach doesn't have a fucking standard of you need a certain energy for this thing to work. Naruto does. You need to have chakra for the fucking gentle fist to work. You need to have chakra for genjutsu to work, etc., etc., etc. Bleach does not have these issues. One Piece does not have these issues. So I respond, Hagoromo didn't go around handing chakra out like candy, right? The planet had it. Facts. Animals had it. Facts. And people already had it. This is evident for sage creatures. We can look at excerpts from Boruto stating the planet has chakra, and the god tree works by absorbing people's chakra, so they must have had it. We're going to get there. Hold up, because we're going to get to all of that shit. We're going to get there. Hold up. Let me check on... I remember as a kid in Texas wearing a black hoodie in summer playing soccer. It was 120. Damn, and a dragonfly flew on my head and actually... Ew. Hey, yo, Kai, that's disgusting, bro. That's nasty shit. Shinigami says, by the way, through verse equalization, Sasuke will be turned into a vegetable via infinite void. Oh, yeah, no. See, that's a whole nother conversation. I don't even want to talk about JJK versus Naruto right now. Hey, what's good, Red? Did you take your security plus? Yeah, not yet, bro. I'm still studying. I will say the studying is going good. But I'm going to be going in on this shit right now, guys. Let me get through this whole thing. Let me yap, and then we can catch up. I do plan on reading some a new anime or a new manga tonight. Karibo suggested, so we're going to read that tonight when I'm done this. Or hopefully when we're done this. Hey, what's good, Michael? How you doing, bro? So when I say everything that I said, Hagoromo didn't go around handing chakra out. The planet had it. Animals had it. And this is evident for sage creatures. So we have animals having chakra and we have the planet having chakra. First off, a smart person, an intellectual person would say, well, if all these people on the same or are on the same fucking planet, why wouldn't the inhabitants also have chakra? If the planet has chakra and the animals have chakra and the humans are on the planet that has fucking chakra, why wouldn't the humans have chakra? That's just basic intuition. That's just like, I don't know how. It's okay. We'll get there. He says, sage creatures having chakra does not prove humans had chakra as well. Granted, right? But literally what I just said. It also absorbed more than their chakra since spiritual energy and mixed in. I don't even know what that means. It also absorbed more than their chakra since spiritual energy and mixed with chakra. I have no idea what the fuck that means. You seriously cannot prove that they had chakra before Hagoromo passed them around. All right, so here's where it gets good. This nigga said you have to study to learn stuff. Cringe. Hey, Michael, we're all not supercomputers like you, my guy. All right, we all can't just download shit and master it in the course of an hour. I'm sorry, I'm human. What do you want from me? So, I say to him, do you know what it means if something... Guys, pay attention to this shit. This is going to be important. And this will... When you do shit like this, it'll always tell you the level of the person that you're talking to, because I'm not even going to say nothing. We will see. Hey, Red, when you see this, this is what the fuck I was talking about that you missed. I say, do you know what it means if something has a nature? Like if I said humans are liars by nature, what would that mean? His response to that question, that is, do you know what it means if something has a nature? His response is, they won't have it. They told us what they meant by nature. The old toad explained how difficult it is to even sense nature energy. He's talking about nature energy. Drawing it in is not something humans would be able to do without turning into stones. Nature is the soil, air, water, outside, not inside. So, I try and be fair. I say, bro, what the fuck are you talking about? That has nothing to do with what I just asked. Where did you get an old toad? Why are you talking about Senjutsu? He says, telling you that regular people couldn't use nature energy. He still thinks we're talking about nature energy. He says, the thing you tried to say that proves humans had chakra, but they didn't. And if you watch the Sage Mode training, it explains why people can't use it or even sense it. You asked me, mind you, he says, you asked what nature mean, and I told you. Did anyone hear me ask him what the fuck nature means? Did anyone hear me say that? Let's go back and make sure I didn't ask him that. I say, do you know what it means if something has a nature? Like, and I even gave him an example. I said, like if I said humans are liars by nature. He wants to talk about nature energy. Let's keep going. Hey, yo, Red. Yo, Red. Yeah, I'm glad you're in here, Red, because we're gonna go over this shit right now. Yes, I brought up the old debate because the old debate is important. It's integral to this debate that we're having right now. And after this shit, I don't know if we're ever gonna talk about this topic again. Cause I like the way you see shit, bro, just doesn't make sense to me. So yeah, no. Alright. So he says all that has to do with what you asked. Short version, they're not a part of nature. Again, never asked anything about that. He says it was explained what is part of nature in the series. It also explained why humans don't use or sense it. Alright. So I repeat, right? I say, do you know what it means if something has a nature? Like if I said humans are liars by nature, what would that mean? I then ask, do you understand the question as it's being asked? Because this has nothing to do with Senjutsu. It has nothing to do with Senjutsu at all. Not a thing. He doubles down. I know what that means. He says he knows what it means. He knows what it means. I know what that means. It have nothing to do with Naruto because, like I said before, they explained what nature energy is. He still thinks we're talking about nature energy. How? The question was leading into something that was wrong, but keep going. What exactly are you trying to say with that question? It does have something to do with Naruto, and you haven't answered it. What does it mean if something has a nature? If a nature is affixed to something, what does that entail? He asked me, does the question matter? I said, yes. It lets me know that you know what I'm talking about. And if you don't, then, it lets me know that you know what I'm talking about. And if you don't, then you're not going to get the next part. So I have to take him through a process of understanding what the fuck we're talking about so he doesn't get lost in the sauce from the next segment. He says, explain how it matters. Because I promise if this is going where I thought it was, my statement still stands. And at this point, I'm just like, gang, why is it so hard for you to answer this question? I shouldn't have to do all this shit, bro. You either understand what I'm saying, in which case, please just answer the question, or you don't understand, and I can try and explain it better. I'm being very charitable here. I'm being extremely charitable, because at this point, why? It's like you either get it or you don't. I'm so glad I graduated when I did. You still haven't proved that humans had chakra before Hagoromo passed around chakra, so this debate was done. Oh, you meant Red Devil, not me, LL. Oh, no. Red, I was talking to you. Well, no, actually, Trip, I was talking to you before, but then Red came in and I was actually talking to Godflow. Yes, that's true. All right. Yes, Godflow is in the chat. So, finally, we get some ground from him. He says, apparently I don't, since nothing I said didn't answer your question. Cool. I'm absolutely fine with someone not understanding what the fuck I'm asking them. That's absolutely fine. Misunderstandings happen all the time, especially over the internet. Not an issue. Let's move on. I say understood. I'd break it down for him. I say, so if something has a nature or nature affixed to it, it means it's a natural or intrinsic part of that thing. Like saying lying, right? I even gave the fucking example again. I say lying being a part of human nature means it's intrinsic. It's an intrinsic aspect of us, right? No one has to teach a human to lie, right? That's something we're born with the skill to know how to do. If we don't want to tell the truth, if we don't want to be honest, we can lie. It's literally an intrinsic aspect of fucking humans, right? So something that is natural and not learned or handed down. Does this make sense? He says yes, but what does this have to do with Naruto world? Mind you, he said yes. He understands it. He gets it. So, here's the coup de grace to all this shit. So, if you understand that, then what Momo says here cannot be misunderstood as anything other than chakra being an intrinsic part of humans, along with him implying that human memories were altered. The mere intimation of this suggests this would have been before Hagoromo. Let's go over this panel. So he says people's memories have been altered. Any common knowledge involving the two of you, right? Well, I should have read this by first. Anyway, every person's consciousness is by nature, and what did we just figure out nature means? Intrinsically. Something that is a part of you, naturally. Every person's consciousness by nature is linked through chakra. So it's not impossible for a god to meddle with it, if they so choose. Then Momo even says, have you never contemplated how many times an Otsutsuki who became a god may have previously manipulated humankind's memories? Again, the mere intimation of this, someone from Momo who fucking precedes Hagoromo and Kaguya, the mere intimation of this would suggest that they're able to manipulate people's memories through chakra. This would prove that everyone has chakra. I don't know how else to fucking spell it out. I don't know any other way to say it. Anyways, let's keep going. Because this is where the crazy shit comes. He says all that have. So, mind you guys, let's read it quickly. Every person's consciousness is by nature linked through chakra, so it's not possible for a god to meddle with it. Have you ever contemplated how many times an Otsutsuki became a god may have previously manipulated humankind's memories, right? Godflow says all that has to do with one part of chakra, and that's mental. If chakra being intrinsic part of humans before Hagoromo, then Hagoromo wouldn't have gave them chakra. So the presumption on his end is that Hagoromo gave them chakra. He has not proved this, though. He has not proved this. I just asserted some shit that you would have to go beyond Hagoromo to disprove. Because I'm using Momo, who's a higher authority. I'm using Momo, who's older than Hagoromo. I'm using Momo, who's been here before Hagoromo, retroactively since he was introduced in Boruto and he's older. Right? Hagoromo came first, but Momo precedes Haga-fucking-Romo. So I ask, who told you that has to do with one part of chakra? Where are you getting this? Did anyone see Momo mention mental aspect of chakra? Did anyone see that? I say you keep riding this idea that he gave humanity chakra. That's never stated. And Momo is a higher authority on the matter. And he says it's intrinsic to humans. Momo Hagoromo. Momo Hagoromo. The planet had chakra. Hagoromo came to teach them Ninshu, which they would need to have to utilize their chakra. Thank you. Thank you, Trip. That alone proves they had chakra beforehand. Thank you, Trip. Not true. The anime shows Hagoromo passed. And he wants to cling. We're going to get to this anime shit first off. Kaguya gave them chakra. Everyone gained chakra. Hagoromo and his bro are born afterwards. And by the time they were adults, the planet had chakra by then. Planet having chakra doesn't mean human having chakra. No, but you know what? You know what pyramiding inferences is? Used correctly. Pyramiding inferences used correctly states that, okay, cool. If we find a premise that's true and we find more premises that are true, it can lead to a more true conclusion. So if the planet has chakra before fucking aliens show up, and the animals have chakra before fucking aliens show up, then we can infer that the humans that are also living on the same planet as the animals and the planet having chakra would also have chakra. That's pyramiding inferences done correctly. Not how you niggas do it, where you find something you can't prove, assert it to be true, like Hagoromo giving them chakra, because you can't prove that. Alright. Hagoromo passed down Ninshu. Humans didn't mix mental and physical energy beforehand. So your usual, but it's two energies argument goes out the window. Alright, so Karibo, you have a misunderstanding, and I've told you this before, Karibo. You've misunderstood what is going on here. You've misunderstood what's going on here. Here's what happens, Karibo. We'll get to it we'll get to it in our current conversation. I'll try and put a pin in this. We'll get to it then. This nigga only got one evidence to prove his claim, and it's a stretch. How the fuck is that? How is that a stretch? How is that a stretch? Anyways, I didn't what the fuck? I don't know. I was talking fast, but I don't know. Are we looking at this? Yes, the planet had chakra because a god fruit exists. Exactly! Oh shit, I was about to fall. A trip. If a trip. Wait until I get to this shit, nigga. I'm gonna keep going though. I'm gonna keep going because y'all get me hyped. I'm gonna keep going. Okay. His response to everything I just said, let me just recap that. Who told you it had to do with one part of chakra? I don't know where he got that from. You keep riding the idea that he gave humanity chakra that's never stated, and Momo was a higher authority. He says, Momo literally says consciousness. Okay, Momo says consciousness, but you inserted, what would you say? Yeah, you inserted mental, spiritual energy. That's not what Momo said. He said consciousness, but you said mental and spiritual energy. So, anyways, then you say, because it's true and haven't been debunked yet. LOL. Yeah, but he's still talking about component of chakra, not the full thing. Okay, cool. So, here is the thing. Where does he say he's talking about a component of chakra? I asked him this and I laughed because it's really fucking funny. Where does he say he's talking about a component of chakra? I'm genuinely confused as to how you're arriving at that conclusion. He says consciousness, memories. That's all got to do with the mental part of chakra. That's a component of chakra. I don't know how you're missing that or you're just acting dumb on purpose. Wouldn't even know how Kage took people out of the gotcha and erased their memories, then let them live. Yeah, my friend, that's what's called headcanon. Momo was very clear in what he said, and I'm not sure why you're attempting to misinterpret it. He doesn't say anything about mental part of chakra. In fact, if you go through the entire series of Naruto, no one ever goes out their way to mention any particular part of chakra. No one ever says, I'm low on physical fucking energy. No one ever says, I need to use more spiritual energy. They'll normally just say chakra. Because colloquially, chakra, especially in the case of ninja, is molding that energy together for the purpose of jutsu. Karibo, I'm going to get to you. Chakra is the combination of two energies to make something new called chakra, right? So you have physical energy, you have spiritual energy. These things are already mixing. They mix innately, they mix. But ninja mold this energy for the purpose of jutsu. He says, okay, you got me. I was reaching the same way you are about thinking Momo's statement works in this situation. Okay. He said their consciousness is linked through chakra. He wasn't saying they have it. So how would their consciousnesses be linked through something they don't have? How does that make sense? Chakra uses both energies, and I've been saying humans might have had the spiritual part before. This is going to be really funny once we get to the current conversation. He said Hagoromo passed around chakra. I said it's most likely humans had one part of chakra, and that's spiritual. Hagoromo giving them physical chakra and teaching them how to manipulate it. Can you show me what physical chakra looks like? Can you show me what spiritual chakra or mental chakra looks like? You telling me they had physical and spiritual chakra but couldn't manipulate it until Hagoromo? Be for real. Yes. You know why? Because manipulating chakra is something you have to learn to do. Yes, they did have it. They didn't know how to manipulate it. Yes, laugh my ass off. Why is that hard to believe? He even said their memories may have been tampered with, which could be the reason they don't remember shit about chakra or how to use it. See, when you actually read, and I'm not even going to say critically think, when you actually read and just think about the shit that's going on, if Momo's telling us humans could have had their memories and minds tampered with, and you're telling me that they had chakra but couldn't manipulate it, it never occurred to you that maybe he erased that part of their fucking memories to not let them remember how to manipulate chakra? That never occurred to you. Just me? But I don't know shit about Naruto. But I'm the guy. I'm the Bleach guy who doesn't know a goddamn thing about Naruto. Right. He says, because it was stated in the manga by Madara that humans didn't have chakra. We're going to get to Madara. We're going to get to your best friend Madara. Yes, we are. Because it was stated in the manga by Madara that humans didn't have chakra. And if you follow the manga, nothing contradicts it. The anime touched more on it. They don't remember nothing because Kaguya erased their memories after reviving them from the god tree. So I simply say Madara, Momoshiki. Like I said, Momoshiki is a higher authority than fucking Madara. We're going to get to him, by the way. Yeah, we yield to the highest authority on the matter, and that's not Madara, and hasn't been for about 10 years now. Laugh my ass off. You do realize Boruto is out, right? You do realize Boruto retcon things, right? Like I said, you're holding on to this idea from Shippuden. Kaguya erased humanity's memories? I don't remember that happening, so I put a question mark. He says, I don't appreciate you using Momo's words to try and prove your point. Why wouldn't I use Momo's words, which are in fact true, to try and prove a point that he already made? He said chakra, he said consciousness is by nature linked through chakra. He said, retcon what? Yes, she once ruled over the world. Momo said consciousness is linked through chakra. That would mean that chakra is intrinsic to humans and their awareness. And if it's intrinsic, no one gave them chakra. Laugh my ass off. This is basic logic and common sense. You're stuck in Shippuden when things are constantly changing here. Get with the program. He says that doesn't apply in this situation. It's the same as chakra system, and running out of chakra to zero means death. I have no idea what the fuck that could even mean. Like I said, he wasn't talking about Hagoromo era when he was talking about that. He was most likely talking about in the past when humans had chakra or other planet. So if humans had chakra in the past, then that means he erased their memories and they would still have had chakra. And if we're talking about other planets, this would just confirm that other areas in the world or other planets, species, things have chakra as well. That's not strange. That's not abnormal, considering that chakra is a binding force, meaning it's a connective thing in their verse. So I said, it sounds like you don't understand the implications of the words intrinsic in nature. He said every person's consciousness by nature is linked. So it doesn't matter when we're talking about. The statement is universally true unless you're saying he is wrong in his assessment.